This is Marnina from Digital Health Co. I like to make technology really simple to use for business owners. Many business owners are completely overwhelmed with technology, websites, systems, and all the little bits and pieces that go alongside operating a business when it comes to digital tools and digital software. So I have a belief that everyone should have access to digital tools. It doesn't have to be hard, and I'm here to make it easy. So today I'm going to go through a do-it-yourself website audit. Now, I'm going to be giving you tools that are so simple to implement that some of them only take a couple of minutes to do. The reason why doing a website audit on your own website before hiring a professional is why pay someone else or an expert to make really slight changes when these are really obvious things that should be happening on every single website. Unfortunately, they're not, but that's why I'm going to share with you all the details today. So what I'm going to share with you is the 5 biggest mistakes that people make when building their own website. So some of you may have developed your whole website from scratch. It's a very budget-friendly option. Some people are a little bit more tech savvy than others, so they feel like it's a nice challenge to create their own website. But I'm going to share some of the biggest mistakes and how you can either overcome them if you haven't made them yet, or how to rectify them if you have. I'm then going to cover the 5 most important things that you need to have on your website for every single service-based website. And these are things that I see not included every single day on different websites. And I'm also going to share with you one easy addition that can help to improve your site's SEO. Again, the word SEO, or search engine optimization, can be pretty daunting to many. And yes, there are some really technical things involved with SEO, but there's one free to use tool, and this one simple tool is going to make a really big difference to your website and your business's SEO. So make sure you watch until all the way to the end so that you learn this final trick as well. So the first thing that we're going to go through is the 5 biggest mistakes and how you can avoid them. So number 1 of the 5 biggest mistakes is not having a plan. So this really comes back to when you're first building your website or when you might be making changes to your website. But even if you have a website in place, this would be a really good thing to perhaps go and review your current website and think about these questions that I'm going to ask you. So it's important that when you're designing a website, you have a really clear understanding of who your target market audience is. So, for example, why this is important is if you have a demographic that is an older generation, then you're going to have a relatively more simple kind of website. It's probably going to be less interactive, but it's going to be really clear. And it's going to be simple to use for an older demographic. However, if you know that you have a younger demographic, you might want to include things like quizzes or interactive activities and things because they're more tech savvy. So they're more likely going to want to engage in some kind of activity or something on your website. So have a think about who your target market audience is, and then make sure that the design functions are created around this target audience and this demographic as well. It might also depend on, for example, if you know personality types of your particular clients, to create content based on that personality type. So, for example, you know some people are more visual, some people are more kinesthetic, some people prefer to read all the details. So if you have a range of different types of content to cater for these different personality types, then it's going to mean that you have a user experience for just about everyone who actually comes to your website. The second thing of this is, what is the purpose of the website? So is the purpose for them to buy product? Is the purpose for them to book a consultation with you? Is the purpose of them to watch a webinar or to give you a call or to come in store? So think about the purpose of the website and make sure that every design element is created around this so that you're actually leading that person on a journey to actually eventually come to that last step, which is whatever that purpose is for you and your business. Number 3 is think about your best-selling services. So while you might offer many, many different services, think about your top 3 most popular services and make sure that those are highlighted. There's a growing trend of businesses to be more experts in the field and to be offering a smaller service or smaller offering, but doing those offerings really, really well. We are seeing that in all different industries. So it probably does apply to your business. You may be kind of a general business where you offer lots of different services, but I'm sure if you broke it down, you would actually find that there would be 3 or 5 main services or popular items that people keep coming back for or people come to you for. So make sure that these are highlighted. So for example, when you have a service list, it is important to list everything down, obviously, but if you've got a service list of 15 different things, it might be really overwhelming. So chunk this into categories and then make sure that your best-selling services or products actually highlighted in your call to action bars, on your main page, and throughout your website as well. Also, think about where you want to lead people to, and this comes back to the purpose. Are you wanting people to download something, to call you, to send an email, to purchase something, to do a free trial? So it's important that you have an understanding of what the end result of that website use is and then plan around that. So number 2 is using large images. There's a few reasons why this is an issue. One is it slows down your site and therefore it can increase your bounce rate. And also if you've got a hosting provider where you are paying for the size or the size of the file of your website as well, if you have file sizes that are really big, then you're going to increase whatever the website is costing you per month. So there's a few tips here. Number 1 is JPEG is a really commonly used file format that is also used on websites as well. So make sure that you do use JPEG or another web-friendly type file. And a good tip is to compress all your images. So you may have these really beautiful, high professional images that have been taken of you and your team, and you're really excited to share them and you just want to put them all into your website right away. But the thing is, if you do that, it's going to be likely that these images from a professional photographer are going to be really large in size. So it's going to mean that your site is going to load very, very slowly and people aren't going to want to stay on your site. So there's a really quick, easy and free tool called Tiny JPG, and you can use this to change file sizes. So it's literally you drag and drop them into the tinygpg.com. And you can do a bulk upload or you can do one individually as well. Now, if you already have an established website and you have many images and you don't want to download them and then use something like Tiny JPG to make them smaller and compress them and then re-upload them, depending on your web hosting or your platform that you're building your website on, you may even be able to install a plugin that will actually compress all the images on your site at once. Some of these have free options, some of them are paid, but it will really depend on whether you're using Squarespace, Wix, or WordPress. And the plugins will change depending on the platform that you're using. So make sure that you do use small image sizes. Now coming on to number 3, not capturing data. So we know that only 3% of people are actually ready to buy your product or service right now. So that you would have lots of other visitors that are coming to your site that aren't necessarily ready to buy. They might be in the research phase. So it's important that you are capturing people's data to either retarget or send them emails to keep front of mind, because what's going to happen, they might be in research phase. They think, oh, what a great service. What a great company. I like what these guys are doing. But if you don't have a way to follow them up, they're going to forget who you are. So when they are ready, it's likely that they are going to not be able to find you because they've either forgotten the name of the website or the name of your company, and chances are they might just go and choose someone else's services or products when they're in the buy phase, because at that point they want to do it right now. So it's important that you're capturing people's data, and there are a few ways that you can do this. So one is using something like email lists. So you could have a newsletter, or even better, have some kind of free download, whether it be a checklist, a video series, say a free consultation or a discovery call. It really does depend on what your business is and your services are, but find something that is really valuable to the customer that you can perhaps provide free or very, very low in cost, and collect their emails. So then they go into your subscriber list, and then you can retarget them with your newsletters and with your promotions. And number two is using something like Google Tracking Pixel. So this is a pixel that you install on the back end of your website. And what it means is that it will track when people go to your website, where they go on their website, how frequently they go on their website. And when you are actually creating ads, you can retarget to all of those people. So take, for example, you are having drinks with friends and you discuss let's say bed linen, okay? And then all of a sudden, within half an hour, you're seeing all these ads from bed linen places on your social media, on your Google, and you're wondering, how the hell did anyone know? So that's another thing altogether that things may be listening. But even still, if you were to search, say, bed linen, you're going to notice that over a period of 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, 30 days, you are going to be seeing a lot more ads about bed linen, because all these businesses know that you're visiting a site that includes something like bed linen, and then you're going to be able to retarget to those people, whether they come on your website or it may be a competitor's website. There's lots of businesses that aren't doing this, and honestly, it is really, I understand that it can be a little bit daunting for some people, but it is a really good tool to use to retarget your services. And even if you weren't ready to do ads right now, I'd recommend adding Google Tracking Pixel to your website, so then you can start collecting data. So say in 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months, when you are ready to start retargeting and doing these ads, you've already got this kind of database of all these people's pixels, and then you can start retargeting to them then. Number 4 is do it yourself. And what I mean is do it yourself websites. Now, I'm not saying this is necessarily a bad thing, but it can be a pretty big mistake depending on the complexity of your website and who you are and how tech savvy you are. So ask yourselves a few questions. Are you tech savvy enough to actually develop your own website and make sure that it functions well, that it's mobile optimized, that people can view it from all different devices, that it's easy to understand, that it's easy to navigate? Are you design savvy? So yes, it's really important that a website loads fast and it has all the right buttons and the buttons go to the places that they need to, but it also needs to look good and it needs to be representative of you and your brand and your business. And if you have a really luxury kind of service or offering or high quality, and then you have this website that just does not reflect that, then people aren't going to necessarily want to follow through with seeing you, because you have to think of your website like your online portfolio. Lots of people ask about, well, do I need a website in this current day because we have social media? And the answer is absolutely. Because while social media is really good for engagement and community and speaking with your audience and showing, before and afters and things like that, your website is your portfolio. So everything that is relevant, all your unique selling propositions, all your case studies and testimonials, and business information that is relevant to a customer, including frequently asked questions and things like that, really is what your website is about. It's a platform to be able to highlight your unique skills and services on the web. So it is important that it does reflect that. So ask, if you're not particularly design savvy and if you're not particularly tech savvy, what is it actually going to cost you? Because by the time that you have chosen the web platform that you're designing on, designed it, troubleshooted, learned how to actually design and upload things and create, then it's probably a lot of time and energy and possibly sleepless nights when you could hire a professional. Now, at Digital Health Co, we do have a range of templates that, if you are looking for a more budget-friendly option of a website, we can provide beautiful templates that are unique to your products and services or industries, and we can create these for you so that they're reflective of your brand. So put in all your logos, put in your color schemes, put in your fonts, put in your images. So the website looks absolutely yours, but they're designed really well. They're mobile optimized, and they look beautiful as well. So if you're interested in having a look at some of those budget friendly options where it's not going to break the bank, but you still have a beautiful professional looking website, then you can get in touch with us. And number 5 of the biggest mistakes that people make with their own website is being light on the word count. Now, Google looks through each page and it sees words and it sees images, and based on the words on your web page, it's going to understand what that web page is about or what your products and services are about. Google needs to have words to be able to look at your websites and to be able to figure out what all those pages are about. If there's not enough words, then you're not going to rank very well. It is important that you have at least 300 to 300 words on every single page of your website, and that includes your contact page. On average, the pages that rank first on Google have approximately 2,200 words on that page. So if you actually have a look at some of your pages, you might find that you've only got 80 to 150 words on that particular page. No wonder they're not ranking well. This is a really easy way to actually increase the SEO of your website, and you can do this simply yourself or by getting a copywriter to help you. And it's not technical. It just needs to be good content that's easy to read and uses select keywords. Now, a extra bonus tip on keywords is when you're writing this copy, make sure that you choose one keyword. So back in the day, we would do keyword stuffing. So we'd have 10, 15 different keywords on each particular page in the hopes that that page would be ranked for one of those keywords. Google doesn't like that anymore. If you keyword stuff, you are going to get in trouble from Google and your site isn't going to rank well. So make sure that you do some research on your industry and choose one keyword per page, just one. And when you're writing your copy, make sure that you include your keyword in the title, in the first sentence of that page, and in the first paragraph. A good rule of thumb is use the keyword once every 100 words, not more. If you use it more, then again, Google will think that you're keyword stuffing and you're overusing that keyword. So then your site's not going to rank as well, or you might get in trouble for that with Google. So at least 300 words, if not more, every single page, and include the keyword 3 times. Or if you've got more than 300 words, every 100 words. So that is 5 of the biggest mistakes that people make on their websites that, as I'm sure you now see, are quite simple to actually be able to change and to update yourself. And it's going to make a big difference in your customer experience and also your SEO. So now we're going to go through the 5 most important things that you need to have displayed on your website that the majority of service-based businesses just simply do not have. So number 1 is before the fold. So as I am sharing just this screen now, I can't show you an example of this, but if you land on any website, the top part of that website that loads first, the top part of that page before you start scrolling down, that is what we refer to before the fold. Many people completely miss this opportunity to provide a strong call to action and a really clear identity of your site. So this is where, before the fold, you should be including your best things. So whether it be images of your team or a beautiful image of before and after, with your tagline or with your unique selling proposition. You could even have a download here. So this before the fold should have, when people land on you, they know exactly what they're here for and they say, yes, that's what I'm here for. It should be a hook, and it should really be engaging someone enough that they want to have a look more on your website. So it should have a strong call to action. So this could be, for example, as I mentioned, it could be a download. So it could be download our 10 tips to, for example, if it was Digital Health Co., we have download the 10 tools that you should be using in your business every single day. And this is front of center so that when people land on it, they know exactly what we kind of do. We also include the tagline of that we help health and wellbeing businesses navigate technology. And we have an image that is representative of this kind of industry as well. So before the fold is such an important part of the real estate of your website, and many people don't necessarily tap into it because people think that people are going to scroll down. The fact is that there's 94% of people aren't going to scroll to the very bottom of your page. So if you've got all the good stuff right down the bottom, people aren't going to see that. And they're just going to either think, well, this isn't relevant to me, or they're going to go on another page. So make sure that before the fold, you are optimizing that to make it really clear and engaging so that it hooks people in. Number 2, having a clear call to actions. This isn't just relevant on the before the fold. This is relevant throughout your site. So for example, you could have a process. So what does it look like to either use your products or services, buy your products or services, or to do a consultation with you? Clearly identify what the steps are and then what people need to do each step. It's really important that you are using language that is reflective of what you wanted people to do. So use action words. What is the copy suggesting? Is it download this now? Is it contact us today? Is it learn more? There's actually some research that shows, especially with paid advertising, that the button that says learn more is actually the least intimidating to people. So if, say, for example, someone isn't necessarily really familiar with you and your business and you're wanting to build trust with them, then using learn more on buttons is a good way to build trust because it's not intimidating. And then you can show value, and as you show more value, you're going to increase trust for that person. But really think about what the copy is suggesting. So don't use click now or click here. Use a more descriptive term like download now or read now, or book in your consultation today, or start getting whiter teeth today, or it really depends on what your product or service is, but what is going to happen if they click that button. And that's what the button, or that's what that call to action bar should actually describe. The third part of microcopy, or the third part of call to actions, is microcopy. So this is a really great little tool and a little snippet of information that you can use that is going to give a bit of a subliminal message to the user of your website. So what I mean by microcopy is underneath a button or underneath a buy now or underneath a product, something that might cause a little bit of friction for someone to think, okay, do I want to do this or do I not want to do this? In very small lettering underneath that, you can use what's called microcopy, which means it's much smaller than any of the other text on your page. So people can obviously still read it, but they're not consciously reading it. It's not part of the text of the website. Microcopy is a great little tool that you can use. And as I mentioned, add it under a button, and it can take away that friction that someone might be feeling to press that button. So say, for example, it's buy now. The microcopy could read 3-month guarantee. Or say, for example, it's book now. The microcopy, if it's a free consultation, could say, what are you waiting for? It's free. And what that does is just subliminally, it takes away this friction that someone might feel about taking that next action. So try and use microcopy and see if it helps with your conversions. I'd love to know. So if you do decide to use microcopy, make sure that you let me know, take a screenshot, send it to me in an email, or tag us on social media at digitalhealth.co. Number 3 is not having your contact details displayed. Now, look, I understand that you don't want to be having spam, but unfortunately, bots, spam, prank calls and things are just a part of just us being online. And you're probably going to lose more business not including these than the spam and things that you will actually have. So again, this comes down to the demographic of your audience, especially if it might be an older generation. They will want a phone number because they'll just want to pick up the phone and speak to you. And I know, for example, if I am going to a particular store to pick something up and I know exactly what it is that I want, I'll often call ahead to make sure that they've got it. Because if they don't have it, I don't want to waste my time, driving all that way, getting there and then telling me that they're out of stock. So if there's no phone number, then I'm probably more likely to go somewhere else or call somewhere else to make sure that they've got it. So make sure that your phone number is included so people can get in touch easily. Another one is email address. So some sites will have an online form, which is good. But an email address, sometimes people would just prefer to copy and paste the email address and send it from within their Gmail or their Hotmail or their Yahoo, because then they've got a copy of it. You don't necessarily have a copy when you fill out an online form. Online forms are great. However, many, many times I've completed an online form and I've never heard back from the business. So I've just gone somewhere else. So make sure that if you do have online forms, make sure that you are responding to them. Make sure that the online forms aren't going to your junk or spam. And make sure that you are answering them just as quick as you would with a phone call or with a email to your business. So it should be, at least within 24 hours. And it shouldn't really be longer. Number 4, this is more for service-based businesses or when you're doing consultations or connection calls and things like this, but a booking link. A booking link is a must for service-based businesses, because if someone has to call or email you or go into store to book a time, then you're going to lose either a lot of business or people are going to forget. Because here's the thing, you might have a service-based business and someone wants to book it, they think, okay, I'm going away this particular date, I'm going away on holidays, I'd like to book an appointment, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and they're like, I really want to book this now because otherwise I'm going to forget about it. I've got so much other things going on. I just want to get it over and done with, and they're in their jammies at home. And having an online booking system means that you are securing that booking right then and there in your sleep. You don't have to do anything. So not only does it start to automate a process, it reduces time that you're using for staff and getting back to people and things like that. A booking link depends the one that you're using, but it will actually link up with your calendar. So you can select the appropriate times, the different timelines. People can even pay online as well. So it's just saving a lot of time. People can prepay. It also means that they can book any time of day or night. So if you do have a booking link, make sure that you've got a button on the menu bar or that's accessible from every single page that says book now. Because if you've got a booking link, but then they have to register to sign up, or they can't find the booking link, there's no real use having it there. So make sure that it is really clear to access from the menu as well. So a really good one to use is Calendly. which does have a free option as well. And then it starts, for the premium, it starts at $8 a month per user. So really, really affordable. Some of these different types of Calendly, there's Timely, Timify, and things like this. They are quite affordable, and they often also send out reminders. So you can send text reminders or email reminders to your clients as well to remind them of their appointment. So make sure you have a booking link. Number 5 is having a address. So this is, I guess, more appropriate if you are a business that has a tangible, like a bricks and mortar type store or clinic. However, even if you're not, it is important, I believe, to have an address on your website. And the amount of times that I've gone to a website and they either haven't included the address, or they've included perhaps the town but not the state or the postcode, it happens every single day. And if you have to look up the area code, or you have to look up that town because you don't know if it's local to you or not, that's just creating an extra step for the customer that it would be so simple if you just included the address. So make sure that you include the address for either where people are going to come and visit you, or if people are sending you things as well. So mail or deliveries, if you've got that address there, then it's just going to be much easier for everyone to access you. So they're the 5 biggest things that you can add to your service-based website today. Super simple, but they are going to make your user's experience much, much better. So I'm now going to go through an SEO trick. And this is, again, something that you can implement right now. You don't have to have any technical experience, but it is going to assist with your SEO, search engine optimization. So what this is Google My Business. So Google My Business is a product developed by Google. It is free for you to access, and it can be used by both service-based and online businesses, so say consultants and things like that. And Google My Business is when you actually search into a toolbar, it's going to show up on the right-hand side all the details of that particular business. And I'll add some images to that. I don't believe I have any. Okay, so I've just typed in Derm Health Co., which is our sister business. So this is what Google My Business looks like. So we can see on the right-hand side, I've typed in the business name, and this is what's going to come up. So it's going to have reviews, website, phone number, business information. You can have an appointment link. You can have an about section, your different profiles, and you can also have posts and things like that. So I'm going to show you another business here. So for example, we've got Southern Stain, which does staining for staircases. You'll see all these different reviews here. And then down the bottom, we also have posts as well. So this is something that is developed by Google. And the way that they've developed it means that the search engines can easily access and find and read all the details within your profile. So it is a really important one to add to any business that you have. To apply, you just go to Google My Business, you'll set up an account, and then they'll send out a postcard, and this postcard will have a code that then can verify your location. And then after that, you can start collecting reviews. So this is a really good tool, and I recommend doing posts on on Google My Business about every 4 to 7 days. And these look like social media kind of links, but think of them more like something that you want to draw people in. So they might be a little bit more in a way salesy, or about your most recent promotion, or about your blog, something that's actually going to engage and get people to want to click through to your website. Okay, so that's Google My Business. In regards to testimonials, we were talking about keywords before. Testimonials from Google are really favored. And I'd even recommend using testimonials from Google over testimonials from Facebook, because Facebook aren't necessarily going to be ranked in Google. So ask people to review your business through Google My Business. And if you can, ask them to include the keyword. So say, for example, your company did laser, for example. So ask them, tell us what you loved about your laser treatment and include the word laser in your testimonials, because not only is it an extra testimonial, which Google loves, but it also includes a keyword. So think of a business that has 30 reviews with the word laser compared to a business that has no Google My Business and no reviews. That other web page or that other business is going to rank much better. So that is a really easy SEO tool that you can use to increase your product and increase your business SEO really simply. So these are some of the tools that I mentioned today. So one is TinyJPG. The other is Google Tracking Pixels. Another one is Calendly. Another is Google My Business. I will just mention that none of these are sponsored. These are all tools that I use every single day that I recommend and that I've had experience with. And these, I don't have affiliate links to these either. Now, as a little bonus, because I always like to throw in something a little bit special, I wanted to suggest a tool for you to install on your website called Hotjar. So Hotjar is a really cool tool that helps you track how people actually use your website. And the way that it does this is heat maps and recordings. So when someone lands on your website, it's actually going to start recording their screen to see where they're clicking, to see where they're hovering their mouse, to see where they're reading the most. And this will help you design a better website that might be more user-friendly, or you'll have an understanding of the kind of content that people are interested in. If you notice that people continue to hover around a certain section, which will give you ideas of how you can perhaps increase information like that is popular. So it is a free tool. There are paid versions as well, but you can just use the free version. It will, once you install it on your website, it's then going to start collecting data from then. So I'd recommend installing it, leaving it for about 2 weeks, and then coming back and watching. It's really, really fascinating. And you can also add a little button on the side of your website that also starts gathering incoming feedback as well. And it's a free tool. So that's a little bonus. It's called hotjar.com. So go to that, create an account, and install the pixel on the back end of your website. They have really clear instructions on how to do this as well. Now that is it for the webinar on a do-it-yourself website audit. However, what I am doing today is I'm offering a special offer of a comprehensive website audit done with me. So yes, I have shared many tools today, and I'd recommend that you go and implement all those tools. And once you've done that, book in a time with me and I can do a comprehensive audit of your website. We can go through every single page and we can start seeing, or I can let you know if you should be moving things up or down, some recommendations. I'll also give you a comprehensive list of all the necessary changes, things that will help to improve your SEO. I'll give you a list of keywords targeted to your specific audience that you can be using for content to create blogs or to create FAQs or to include in that 300 words of copy that I mentioned earlier. And as part of this, you'll also have a 60-minute Zoom call to explain each individual improvement so that you've got step-by-step instructions how to do that. So it's really clear so that you can go ahead and do that. So that is $185. Usually, because it also includes the keywords, this is something that I offer double to that, which is $370. So for anyone that is watching this webinar, then that special price of $185, you can book with me at info@dermhealth.co. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you got a lot out of that and you are ready to implement some of these things on your own website. If you'd like to get in touch, you're welcome to give me a call on 0423 470 816. You can also email me, info@dermhealth.co. Connect with me on social media. On Instagram, you can find us at digitalhealth.co. And to visit our website, www.digitalhealthco.solutions. Again, thank you for spending your time with me, and I'd love to hear what you are doing on your website, the improvements that you've made. So send a screenshot or send me through an email. Let me know, because I also love sharing your success on our social media as well. Bye for now.